Hey everybody, this is a clip from the latest episode of the Randi Rhodes Show. If you want the full episode, you can watch live on Free Speech.
Mary had a little man. The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From Radio Beacon to Radio Beacon.
I have a dream today.
Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show. Turn up your mind.
Donald Trump is a phony, a fraud. His promises are as worthless as a degree from Trump University.
The virus, a lot of people think that goes away in April with the heat.
135,000 Americans will have died of the coronavirus by early August.
Race baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot.
The Chinese virus.
I just cannot support Donald Trump.
He needs to demonstrate the seriousness that people expect of their president.
He is not capable of being a unifier.
I'd like to punch him in the face.
Daily disassembling of our democratic institutions.
You're a terrible reporter.
This administration is in disarray.
If you can't admire Joe Biden as a person, then it's probably you got a problem.
Is Joe Biden an honorable man?
He seems to be a man of honor.
If you don't love Joe Biden, it is time for some serious introspection.
He's been able to cultivate many unlikely friendships across the aisle.
Joe was a guy that could connect with my father, a guy who was a Democrat who carried mail on his back.
I would support a Democrat. Joe Biden knows how to work with Congress on a bipartisan basis.
We've both been privileged to know members of this body who were legends in their own time, but I haven't known one who was a better man than you.
Oh, believe me.
Yeah, it's good. So, Biden gave a sit-down interview yesterday to Dana Bash at CNN. It was wide-ranging. It had a bunch of topics in there. The first topic was about the mask. The mask. That Joe Biden wore one to show leadership on this issue. Because obviously the president thinks COVID is about him, right? COVID is about us. And it's about our children, and it's about our seniors, and it's about our communities, and it's about our meat packers. It's about our senior living centers. It's about our workplaces, mostly because that is where you get a lot of spread, in workplaces, right? And so the Republicans are very interested in giving your workplace complete immunity from any obligation to see to your safety and just drag your butt back into the work. Drag your butt back. One of the things is like, where is OSHA? OSHA during the H1N1 pandemic, right? The flu where 12,000 people died, and Donald Trump declared that a complete disaster. It was a disgrace. 12,000. Now we're up to almost 100,000. But so you had Biden being asked about why Donald Trump was attacking him on Twitter, no less, on Twitter, about wearing a mask. Okay, and he gave a he gave a good answer.
You mentioned the mask, that you wore a mask yesterday. President Trump went to a Memorial Day service. He did not wear a mask. It's not just some people making fun of you. He did. He did on Twitter. He retweeted a photo of you wearing it. He's trying to belittle you for wearing a mask, making it seem like it's a sign of weakness. Is it?
He's a fool.
Hello.
An absolute fool to talk that way. I mean, every leading doc in the world is saying we should wear a mask when you're in a crowd. Mm-hmm. And especially when you know you're going to be in a position where you're going to inadvertently get closer than 12 feet to somebody. I know we're 12 feet apart, I get that. But it's just absolutely this macho stuff for a guy. I shouldn't get going, but it just is, it's cost people's lives. It's costing people's lives. And like I said, we're almost 100,000 dead today. 100,000 people. Columbia study showing that we could have, if you just started a week earlier, would have saved thousands of lives. I mean, this is a tragedy.
But wearing a mask has become a cultural and political flashpoint. And the president is involved in that, even stoking that.
Sure he is. And look, he's stoking deaths.
Yeah.
It's not going to increase the likelihood that people are going to be better
So
off.
do you think wearing a mask projects strength or weakness?
Leadership.
Hello.
What it presents and projects is leadership. Presidents are supposed to lead, not engage in folly and be falsely masculine. It reminds me of the guys that I grew up with playing ball. They'd walk around with a ball in their hand, but they didn't like to hit very much.
Exactly. Exactly. That's Donald Trump. Donald Trump likes to dress up in a military uniform while he was attending his, military-themed prep school. But he's never served. He would never, he had bone spurs, everybody. Bone spurs is what he had. And he thinks, he's a big man. He thinks he's a tough man. And really all he is a bully. And if we stood up to him, it would be the end of him. Look at how he melted down when Twitter had the audacity to put a little exclamation point and say, get the facts about mail-in voting. Get the facts. He literally can't handle it. He cannot handle the truth. He is one of those guys that he needs to live in his own bubble. And yet he's the ultimate victim. Everything that happens is happening to him. It's all a plot against him. Everything is him. Everything is him. You got Georgia. Solidly red Georgia is literally in play in this election, okay? And he is just freaking out. He is wigging out, and there is nothing this man will not do. Nothing, because if he can't retain the presidency, the man will die in jail. The man will die in jail. And yeah, there's a scenario where he loses the election in November, and he takes his ball and goes home. And screams it's rigged and everything else. He says, who needs it? I don't need it. I'm a rich guy. Whatever he says. And he goes. So that Pence will then become the president during the lame duck period between November and January 20th when we swear in the person that we elected instead of him, who would be obviously Joe Biden. And Pence pardons him. But that's only federal crimes. The crimes that he's being remember, in the Michael Cohen case, even though Michael Cohen got out of jail because of COVID, the Michael Cohen case identifies Donald Trump as unindicted co-conspirator number 1. So Donald Trump's got plenty of, states that are going to, file charges against him. The man is deranged and a fraud and a creep. So don't put anything past him, and be very, very, very ready. Be very ready. Because this campaign knows it is in trouble. This campaign understands that the President of the United States is so full of magical thinking. He lives in his own freaking head. He lives in his own freaking world. He's running around telling everybody, and I know there are some people in this audience that brought this up to me. He told everybody in his White House that Moderna is going to have a vaccine, and it's going to be ready in a couple of months. And there are visions that some people have of him coming down the escalator with the syringe in his hand, all like lit up and like some sort of a sci-fi movie. The syringe, right? There it is, everybody. The cure for COVID. Yeah, whatever. So, whatever he has up his ridiculous sleeve, don't underestimate, because there are people in this country who are addicted to him.